Hey everybody, what's going on? So I wanted to talk about today because I've been going down a rabbit hole that I haven't wanted to go down in my life. This is also like about cognitive dissonance, how we can, as people, fight the programming that we have in our minds, right? That we've had throughout our lives, the beliefs, the sacred cows that we don't want to face and challenge and actually do research on because everybody has access to the internet. So um, for me, I want to talk about this topic of who are the Jews, right? Because you hear about Zionism and you hear about traditional Jews and Torah Jews, and then as a believer in Christ, you then want to take it back to uh, um, the Bible, you know? And so for me, this was something that I came across at like 17 years old. I didn't quite understand what people were talking about with Zionism and the Jews in Israel. And it genuinely, like, I'm 32 now, right? So I remember it. And I was just like, these people sound crazy. What are they talking about? But I knew that there was something there, like looking back on it, right? And I'm talking about this. This isn't because, one, this is kind of what, heck, I'm going through right now. Like, this is what I'm thinking about, right? Um, because I'm having to actually fully accept this for multiple reasons, and that will come to light shortly. But um, I think it's also important, like, in this time, to talk about that situation, like, because of everything that happened, uh, a little over a month ago with Charlie Kirk, that thing that stirred a lot of people's hearts in this country. It feels like it's kind of like settled a lot, but I think that there are still a lot of people who have made it a point, and I still think Jesus is just getting started. So, um, like, I see it will be ramping up again. We're gonna start feeling it in the atmosphere more. Um, but I still see it. Just the other day, I saw a dude on the corner with a sign saying Jesus is King. It was really cool. Uh, excuse me, guys. I got to get a proper holder for my phone here. Um, so, anyways, what this is going to lead people down is a path to the Jews and Israel, right? And I am a friend of the Jews. I am a friend of Israel. I'm a friend of the United States. I'm not an enemy combatant of either. Um, for and on the record, I am completely sane as well, and I will not ever. Um, I'm not suicidal at all. Uh, and yeah, I have court records to prove that. Okay, because one of my court cases, they tried to. It was a DUI, but I was pro per. I was standing in my own self in properium personam, and I don't say pro se because that's a statutory term. Some people are fine with it. It's just my preference. Uh, but it's essentially the same thing. I say one is statutory and one is of equity. So that's the way that I have come to know about it. And pro se is a statutory. It's saying you're going to represent yourself. Well, how can you represent you? You are you. That doesn't make sense. I am me. I am not a name. I am not a corporation. I'm not a business. My body is not surety. It's not secondarily liable for uh, an entity. And when I say an entity, I don't mean I don't mean a demon, but that's interesting etymology. I mean your estate. It's a corporate fiction, right? And so it's just like any LLC. It's the same thing. And so I started filing my own paperwork into the case, and they wanted, and this is something that the state can hit you with. I didn't intend to talk about this, but I guess we can shift gears. They'll try to they can try, especially in Texas. Texas is very, very militant, very militaristic in Texas. I believe Texas has the second most inmates in the world per capita. Like, that's more than like Russia and the Middle East. It's crazy. Um, I, anyways, they win. I think it's like 99 or 98% of 98.5. It's some crazy number of their cases because people settle and all this type of stuff. So yeah, it's nuts. It's a business. It's a business. Just go into one of the criminal, and I'm talking about criminal, right? Which all of it is criminal. Believe it or not. They all deem it as criminal. It has a criminal jurisdiction to Admiralty. Equity does not, and maritime does, and so does common law, but they don't really. I mean, they've merged the laws together, but that's also another discussion. And so even like Class B misdemeanors, things that you wouldn't think are criminal are actually criminal because it's the type of law that it is, right? So yeah, I had a DUI charge. They didn't really have anything, but I didn't have the money to pay an attorney, and I did not want a court-appointed attorney, and I knew about some of this information, and it was just I was learning about it, and like right at the time, and so I started to do it myself, and that's one thing they'll do is they'll try to saddle you with an attorney. That way you can be subject to the court, and like they'll say you have to get an attorney or you get thrown in jail. And there are ways around it. I didn't really know at the time, but I still went on as if the attorney didn't exist, and I just kept objecting to it and saying, like, you can't force me to have an attorney. Like, I don't want to do this. And this was during COVID, right? And anyways, they ordered a mental evaluation. I didn't object to the mental evaluation. So everything in court is assumed until it's rebutted. Everything. They already have everything assumed about you going in, so you have to already go in on the record and rebut what they already have assumed about you, which is that you're a combatant, that you are militarized, okay, and that you are surety, you are liable for the debt that they just put on your name by accepting your name, by accepting and saying, yes, I agree that I am that name. When you say that, that puts you in suretyship position, which you can always subrogate your rights. Little known trick there. It's you can just subrogate them, and basically it's like you're giving them up in exchange, because in equity, right, when you go to subrogate your rights, when you acknowledge your suretyship, right, if they force you in that position to get sad, I didn't even think I'd talk about this, this will actually help somebody. If they force you in that position to accept an attorney, and they're like, okay, well, like, I didn't realize this at the time, and it's it's public speaking, which is not necessarily my favorite thing, but I mean, who actually, I'm sure there are some people that enjoy it, but not most people don't, right? So this will actually help somebody. If they try to saddle you with an attorney, if you are doing this by yourself and you don't really know what you're doing, and they try to push that on you, there's a lot of things you can do with that, like that's very, very interesting. But yeah, I mean, you always want to accept it. You never want to get combative with them, because then it makes it if they present you something, you can what's called conditionally accept. You can be like, I'd be happy to accept an attorney if you can prove to me as to why I need one. I'm fully confident I can do this by myself. Are you saying that I'm not? What gives you that belief, or leads you to think that I'm not? I've never met you. How can you make any medical judgment about me? Are you a doctor, Your Honor, or Mr. Bar Card holder over there? Or Miss? No, they can't make any assumption. They've never had a conversation with you. They don't know anything about you. So for them to say that, right, you're like, hey, I'm happy to do that if you can prove to me why. Like, why should I need that? Why do I need something like that? But sorry, hold on, guys. So you can say that in court, or you could say, if they want to force suretyship upon you, you can just say, I'm happy to do that. If you are saying that I am surety, Your Honor, well, then I demand my rights to subrogation and all the collateral securities. I'd appreciate a check by the end of the day. And that will make their butthole pucker real tight. I have proof of it. I have it recorded on my YouTube. He got very frantic. He actually got upset. He was a nice judge. He wanted to see what I knew. He respected what I said. He honored what I was saying and where I was coming from. I didn't know how to close the case, and that was my first case, but it was really, really cool. But that's when they moved the other attorney. One of the other attorneys moved for me to get a mental evaluation, which was actually extremely intense. It took me forever to get it. I finally got it, but I also got my own because I was listening to Robert Fox. Great. Robert Fox is awesome. Like, seriously, God bless Robert Fox. Everything that he went through, they broke his back in Dallas. Like, I live in Texas. Like, in Dallas County Jail, they broke his back because he refused to give him his fingerprints. And yeah, they broke it in his spine in like 3 places. He got raided by he got SWAT teamed. I think he was also a pastor or a teacher, but he's where I got from putting Bible verses One of the people. There's another guy, but I can't remember his name. David something. But he's where I learned to put Bible verses. Like, he actually won cases, like back in the day, like back when this was not, there wasn't as many people knowledgeable about this. Because the more the people learn about this, the more traction it gains, the harder it is to really stop, because what they're doing is fraud. What the government is doing is fraud, because they're not telling you what they're doing, for one thing. They're just assuming it. To enter into contract with somebody, you have to fully know and understand what's in the contract. Right? That's why it says, did you read all of these terms? Even in a terms and agreement, that's a form of a contract. It's not a true contract, but it is a form of one, right? It's also a trust. But yeah, Robert Fox, if you want to learn, a good place, like a really good solid place to learn and a foundation, excuse me, is from Robert Fox. He's on YouTube. You can go find him. I think the YouTube page that has a bunch of his videos is like I Am a Free Man. But yeah, he's like a pretty like heavy set dude with a beard. But he went through a lot of stuff, and he won his cases. Like he won his cases. They almost threw him in the loony bin. Like, he was saying, he said that they'll throw you in there. They'll just throw you in there, and they'll inject you with Haldol. Just let you rot. Just drug you up. And what he said he did is he went and got his own exam, and that's exactly what I did. So I went and got my own mental evaluation, and scored fine. And I recorded. I told the doctor that whenever we started, that I was going to record it for my own record. She said okay, and it made her like really nervous when I did. Because these people get referrals from the court, so of course, like, they're going to want to keep getting referrals from the court. And of course the court is going to want to keep winning, right? It's all about money. It's all banking. This is business. If you go into a criminal court, just go into one, and you will see the attorneys lined up out the door or in the jury seats. Just like a business, somebody standing in line to check out and this makes me so mad, dude. This makes me so mad. Like, because it's fraud, and the people have like no idea what's going on. And that's like, it just keeps happening. It's just slavery, and nobody understands what's happening. It's debt slavery. That's all this is. And everybody's like, okay, yeah. It's not actual true justice. It's not equity. It's not like you harmed your neighbor. No. Like, and your neighbor is actually like, hey, this person harmed me, and here's 2 or 3 witnesses, right? That's not what this is about. This isn't trying to right wrongs. This is about making money. This is about paying off fake money to Jews. It's not. This is about bankruptcy. This is about the national debt, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm not, this isn't a prophecy or a prediction. Like, I'm just talking right now. I do not see CBDCs becoming a full reality. I really don't see them becoming a reality until everybody is like augmented humans. I just don't see, with the way that the technology is set up. So I just started looking into this. There goes my light. 1 second. And when I say augmented humans, I mean like, okay, guess that's sticky tax done on that. So forgive me because I'm not going to know the exact terminology and verbiage to use, so I don't want to speak about it too much. But it's something I'm going to continue looking into. But it's basically how like our cell phones actually operate and what technology is being used today, like for Wi-Fi, and like it's kind of nuts. It's actually in our cells. It's all through us because it's all light. It's really 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 interesting. But this gets into um, why like Putin and Xi say, and President Xi of China will say that they're going to live to like be 170 years old, right? Like eugenics, like life extension technology. They've had this technology. This is, where they put the organ on the microchip, like the human organ on the microchip, and it like makes it 1,000 times better than it was. Um, Everything fell twice, so I don't remember like why I was talking about that exactly. But um, oh, that's why I don't believe CBDCs are actually going to be a thing because uh, it's all like digital. It's very 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 weird and interesting, but basically crypto isn't real. Like the blockchain isn't activated, isn't online for according to Wikipedia for Bitcoin, right? And I already see. So basically, it's like it doesn't exist, except people think that it exists. That's why it exists. Um, to put it in layman's terms. So people, what I mean, BRICS has already got currency backed off of gold. You did not see BRICS go with a digital currency, right? Which basically you have the BRICS nations, and then you have the West. Well, yeah, you know, um, and the West is like this old, you know, industrial power that's trying to continue on in its mass of debt while the other countries don't have that. It's all like gold and silver backed currency. And I know that the federal government, it's not even the federal government. I know that the United States, out of the 16 by 16 square miles of Washington, D.C., um, I know that's been bankrupt. Like they've gotten an extension on that debt 3 times. And I mean, it also went off the petrodollar. They didn't renew that. So what's backing the United States dollar? Consumer confidence? The stock market? Like what? And I just saw that Florida's accepting gold and silver now and ordering all the banks to do so. So that's interesting. Like if Florida is ordering private Federal Reserve banks to take gold and silver, it's like the government is pushing back against the Federal Reserve. And so I could see the United States as it once was. People may not even notice. It at least not at least not the whole population of the United States um, would not fully understand what it means. But that country, that corporation, I could see it dissolving. And that may have, like, literally already be happening. But because I see things like they're telling these banks they have to accept gold and silver as currency. Now what's going to happen next? Like, if they're telling these banks that, what's going to happen next? Let's get some water real quick. Other states will start to do it. Texas will probably be the next state. Maybe New York, but when you start introducing gold and that just hints at it. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, that the government won't be dealing in cryptocurrency or crypto. Like, I still know that crypto is on the stock market. I'm not saying, like, oh, crypto doesn't, like, it's not there. Like, it exists for people who want it to exist. And like, you can choose that. But that's another topic. But I mean, yeah, I could see all that happening. So, and things shifting back, and I think that, and this is kind of a good, like, circle round moment. Like, I think that might be exactly what's happening. Like, and I'm not saying that it's going to be a destruction like people expect. Like, I'm not saying Jesus isn't coming back soon. That's not what I'm saying, by the way. Please, Lord, come. Please. To, like, be clear. But what's going on with the money and what's going on with this country and what the Lord says matters. Like, what God says matters. And God, I can tell you this, and I have proof for this. And we know, if you are a studier of we can just say, if you look into the elites and what their plan is a fake dividing of themselves to try to bring about. Now, I think it's a fake dividing, but I also think it's a real one at the same time. Because I think that there are factions that want the ruling, like the Jews, right? And then there are other ones, like maybe like the Catholics, right? Like the Roman Catholic Church, not like actual Catholicism, your everyday person in Catholicism. It's not what I'm talking about. Just like when I say Jews, I don't mean every single Jew. I do not, for the record, it's not every single Jewish person. I'm not even going to get into that whole religion yet. But they're trying to bring about end times prophecy on their own. And it's not time yet. Deja vu. It's not time yet. He ain't done saving everybody, saving the people. He ain't done yet. And that's what a part of this. Yes, we're in the end times, right? Yes, we've been in the end times since Acts, okay? Since the book of Acts. it's in the book of Acts, or the scroll of Acts, should we say? But for me, I don't see it going the way that they planned, and the perfect explanation of this is Charlie Kirk. So if you're familiar with the elites and the technology that they use to manipulate the masses, it's quite vast. There's many things that they do to try to control people, and what I was talking about with like nanophotons and all that type of stuff. Like it's so nuts, and it's technology that they've had for a long time. But it's literally a way that they can just do some crazy stuff to people. But they have technology. I mean, these. I don't know exactly what caused it, but I personally believe it was the 5G towers. I believe that's what this woman said on this video. But she saw, like, you could see actually her page is about like monitoring weather radar, and there was a storm approaching the third coast in the United States, and you could actually see the clouds turning like stopping, slowing down, like turning a different way, and then going in a different direction. And so they were controlling the storm, and they used to do it with HAARP, right? And there's like 12 or 13 HAARPs around the world or something like that, which is HAARP stands for high altitude. Oh man, it's been a while since I've looked into HAARP. I can't remember, but basically it looks like it's a giant laser that's conducted, and it shoots into the atmosphere and heats up the atmosphere, and they can do lots of things with that, whether it's changing storms. Some people even go down the fact that they can create storms with it. What's been released on it that I know of is that it can. This is all. By the way, everything I'm saying. At least you could go look this up. You can probably still look up a lot of it. It's probably also easier to find it on social media, because a lot of the stuff on social media, not all of it, obviously, but there is a lot of good content out there by people that's accurate, that you can find. And anyways, but they shoot a beam up into the atmosphere, they heat it up, and they can do weather modification with it. We're not talking about cloud seeding here, okay? Like what happened to China, what caused that huge flood. I believe it was in China. I think that also happened in Saudi Arabia too, or was that only Saudi Arabia? Or was it Dubai? Maybe it happened all over the place, because I know that they've been doing it all over the Middle East and everything, right? Because they're trying to like return it into an oasis, right? When it's a desert, like, God's the one who does that. You see these people, they think that they're gods, like they keep trying to stretch up to the sky, like Tower of Babel is still here. And it's here today. It's not like it's not this thing that's far off. Like, they have the technology for this. Yeah, it's nuts. They're just like kind of waiting to like roll it out. But anyways, so I saw that and I was like, that's crazy that they're manipulating the weather this way, and it actually caused like a 3.1 magnitude earthquake. Like what, like them doing like that, it was on the local news, like, and this is in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Like this is the beach. Like, you don't have like earthquakes like that. That's unnatural. Anyways, so yeah, personally, I don't really see them completing what they're doing, because they're not the technology that they have for it. Like they have some crazy tech, right? Like they have stuff that we don't even know about. Um, or At least they haven't told us that they have. And so what they do with these 5G not just the 5G, I don't like saying, oh, the 5G towers, your brain's gonna melt. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to push fear porn on people. I'm not trying to scare people. This is just information, right? But not just with that, but with drones, with like any kind of like radio frequencies, with photons, radar and all different types of stuff. They can pump in frequencies into the atmosphere, right? And manipulate the people, right? And try to control major events, right? That's why like a lot of major events are staged, so that they can traumatize people and then manipulate their emotions to get the people to do what they want, because they know that the people are more powerful than they are, right? But the people are just people. They just want to get married, have kids, have a good life, like enjoy what they do and enjoy their friends and just like have a good life, like, you know, just hang out. Like, people just want to be people, like, you know, just work and just do what they do. And these people are not like that. And it's a lot more than just people. It's spiritual, and it's could potentially even be other beings. I personally believe that it is. Whether these beings are, I mean, guys, don't, I could get into that part of it, but I'll just say this. Go read, if you can find them, because the last time I checked, they got taken down from the U.S. Congress, the records of the U.S. Congress. But the writings of Christopher Columbus before, or when he first came to America, and the types of people he would see, like, that were here. Like, it says in the Bible, like, David fought with a tribe of men that had lions for heads. Like, they had lion heads. That's awesome. Like, but, how they got here, did God create them? We don't know, right? And that's what, how do you know that? Well, where do you think the elites got the life extension technology from? Where do you think they got the chimera technology from? Where do you think that they got, which that's what that is, if it's done by man. You know, just go look at the Chronicles of Narnia. Just go look at Narnia, dude. But they got it from the Watchers, like the evil ones, right? Who rebelled against God, fell, and then had sex with the women. And then created Nephilim giants. And so they've gone from there. So these beings, you know, anyways, did all of this and have had all of this technology for a long time. They've had all of this knowledge. And so what they'll try to do is they'll try to pump in frequencies into people to make them feel like a mass panic or fear or whatever they want them to feel, right? And then try to control them and steer it and act like they're God and like play like God, like they're predicting the future, like trying to control everything to make it go which way that they want, which touches on what I was talking about earlier with why I don't think it's going to happen. Because if what's happening right now in the space is being manipulated by a group of people, right, and they're trying to bring the Messiah back before it's time, okay, because they don't decide when it's time. Who decides? The Father. Okay? Or it's like, I hope it all is making sense right now. The Father said, no man knoweth the time. So do you think that he's going to let a group of whoever, whatever they are, whether it's, you know, the synagogue of Satan, like, do you think he's going to let that group Gotcha. Do you think that he is going to let that group of people actually do that? I don't, because he's the father. Like, it's his decision. And he is sovereign. Especially not, whoever it is, whether people say it's, reptilian people, or it's the Anunnaki, or whatever, right? Whatever. Who are they? Well, they are a conglomerate, multifaceted, and are a lot of people. And who are those, other spiritual beings? They're definitely the Watchers who fell, right? And the Nephilim giants. But truly, who knows what's happened in the past when it comes to, in detail, specifically, there's no one apart from God himself. And so just because these people are pushing this crap does not mean that it's going to happen. Like, that's why I think they backed off. That's why I think they did that peace deal in the Middle East. I don't know Trump. I like a lot of the stuff that he does. I like that he makes the economy better. Pretty sure he's a Freemason and a Kabbalist. He wrote about it. So why is it bad for me to talk about it? It's in his book, The Art of the Deal. So, hey, if that's what you want to do, dude, King Cyrus, you go ahead. I'm not talking bad about President Trump. But I like President Trump for his policies. I pray for President Trump. I hope he's successful. I like, is he still, does he represent Jesus? Yeah, but, he says he does. I don't know if I've ever heard him say that Jesus is his own Lord and Savior, but once again, if he is King Cyrus, right? If he is, then he wouldn't, because King Cyrus didn't. He acknowledged the Israelites' God. Did he worship him? I don't think it says, but I don't think so. And that's okay. Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Like, that's fine. Like, I understand what's like, I get it, I understand what the United States is, and that it's a nation of free people to do whatever they want to do, as long as it doesn't harm another person, right? And so do I think that he's, like, sold out, like, as in, like, one of the bad elites, because he is a billionaire? My personal opinion, I don't. No, I don't. I think that he is in a tight corner. But to think that all of the elites, with all of the money that they have, are all, like, on the same page, like all those people groping for power, do you not think that there's dissension amongst the camp, all amongst their camp all the time? Yeah, I would say so. Because they all have power and wealth and means. And so, yeah, like, I would say that there probably is, about who's running the show and who wants to do what. Do I think that Trump is here to save us? I think he is genuinely trying to make America a better place, personally. And I love how he's accepted Christianity into, around him and everything like that. And when he's hanging out with the Jews, like, he does not look like he's having a good time. I'm just saying, he's like, I don't enjoy this. This is like, he's like, I don't like, that's what it looks like to me. And y'all can say, he's on the Epstein flight log and all that stuff. or he's on the list and all that. We don't know any of that. We cannot make a claim towards that. And I, you cannot say that, like, being fully convinced as to that's why they didn't. They very well could not exist. Because Jeffrey Epstein could very well not exist. And when I say that, I mean, he's a construct. Like, there could literally be no list. All it could be is for a way to get people to wake up to the idea that child trafficking has a huge market share in the world when it comes to how much revenue flows through it around the world. It is going to surpass drugs. That's how much money is in it. Okay? So no, I don't think all of the, there are billionaires, there are people walking around on the street in your city that are billionaires or like multi, like uber wealthy, 500 million plus, and you would never know it, and they never drank blood or raped a kid or any of that stuff. So if they can do it, so could, President Trump, right? I gotta plug in my phone. And so what the elites can do, right, shifting gears, I guess, a little bit. With that being said, yes, obviously, being a Christian, I do support President Trump. I don't necessarily support everything that he's doing. I think that he had the best of intentions with the peace deal, personally. I think he really wants to get it done for multiple reasons. And I think that when it comes to Israel, see, here's the thing about Trump that people don't talk about that I see a lot, and is the pain that he sits with for what, like, the smear campaign that got brought against him. And you can see that, and it's like he loves the appreciation and the President Trump, like, you're the best, like President Trump, his chants and all these things, and USA, USA, USA. And this is not a knock on the president by any means, but it's one thing that I've seen, and it's not a judgment. It's just like, I've seen that the pain from the rejection from the country, like the United States, like the people in the country, like saying everything that they said about him. Like, I'm so happy that he got paid off of all the lawsuits from all the slander. I'm so happy, like, for everything that's happening, like, he's getting paid on these things. Like, he's almost, well, I saw it the other day on the lawsuits that are closing, and he's already, like, at 95 million like, that he's receiving from these media companies, and it's awesome. Like, praise God. Like, it's a glorious thing, because everything they said about him was, like, so terrible and wrong. And like, it was kind of nuts. Like, I was really, really, like, these people are really scared. Like, they're really, really scared. But like, it's just something that you can't fake. Like, it's a genuine pain, like, when he talks about the media or about, like, the other people who say these things about him. It, like, actually, like, hurt him, because he's like, I'm, like, when you're trying to help somebody and they, like, bite you, like, that can hurt you, like, over and over. Like, that can hurt you emotionally, like, as a human, right? And like, if you look for it, like, you'll see it. You'll see it in the president. Like, you will. And it's not just when he's talking to the media, it's at different times, but it's also a little bit of sadness too. that it happened, but it's like being betrayed by your own country to try to help your country, you know? When he didn't have to do any of that. Like, he didn't have to run at all. You know, when I was in high school, I think it was in like 10th grade or something, my history teacher, who I had throughout my entire time I was at that school, Mr. Dorman, he was awesome. He actually told us like real, like the real. Like, he would tell us conspiracy theories, and I didn't even know it at the time. Like, it was cool. He would be like, no, don't pay attention to that in the book. That's a lie. He's like, go to this part. This is what happened. Like, it's cool. He's like, we're going to skip that. He actually, this was when Obama, I don't know if it was it wasn't his second term, but it was his first term. I think it was right when he got elected. And he asked us who we would vote for, like, and I was, and it might have even been about President Trump, because Trump was in the media too about running. They were asking, it was like, I remember him being in the media about running for president. And he said, would any of y'all vote for Donald Trump as your president? And my entire class was like, no. And I was like, yes, absolutely, I would vote for him. And he asked me why, and I was like, because he's a businessman, and America is a business. Like, I remember when times were good in the economy, like, things were better, like, you know, with our business, like, that we owned as a family, you know? I remember that. And, so it's obviously, if the economy matters, you know, and it matters to our business, then having a good businessman in the White House to make the business run better would make sense, right? Like, just logically. And so, yeah, for them to do the smear campaign that they did about him was crazy. Like, he's a racist, and he's like black people rap about him and like are in his music, like stupid. Sorry, Mr. President, if you ever see this. But yeah, you know, that's, anyways, getting back to the whole Charlie Kirk shooting. That the elites will pump in emotion into the atmosphere, with what, I don't know, but it is measurable. You can measure the frequency of the earth and like what it's going through. Like, there's like websites that currently do it and stuff like that, but it's actually, and it'll tell you when there's different frequency spikes in the earth, like when things are happening, right? Because we are like beings of frequencies. Like, we have a electromagnetic field around us, right? And so that our body, that is a part of our body, that it's science. Like, I've talked to people about it, and I said it to one person. He was like, I don't care about the electron microscope. He was like, I don't care about the light readings. And I was like, but it's just science. It's an actual thing. Like there's a certain type of it's a scan or a technology, I believe, where you can read, where it like reads light. Like, they put a piece of steak on it, and yeah, it might have been like an electron microscope, I'm not sure, but they put a piece of steak on it, and the light only came through the fat, not the meat, but the fat. But and then they put a pear on it. I think it was a pear. It was a pear and apple. It was a piece of fruit, and it was an apple, and just light flooded through the apple. Like, the whole apple was full of light. I was like, that's really cool. And so you can actually like see what has light like in it and through it and what doesn't, right? Um, but so they're able to manipulate the atmosphere and the frequency of the Earth, which is the same frequency as your brain, 7.83 megahertz, right? It's the Earth. That's why it's good to like get out in nature and ground and stuff. Um, touch grass, guys. Touch grass. Um, and when Charlie Kirk got shot, I saw this girl's video that she did, and she was either looking at the frequency at the time, or like looked at it, and you could see false spikes in the frequency of the Earth that were like fear based by the way that you can read the graph, right? And that were in red. But then almost simultaneously you see it flood in like blue and green, just like pushing this negative frequency just down. And I've talked about this, right? And when I saw that, I was like, that's crazy. What kind of technology do they have? Like, to be able to do that, like, that's nuts. But what that shows is like the actual like God. I personally believe God himself, because if you paid attention to what happened that day, like, that was all in your heart, right? Like, I could feel the mourning of Charlie, like, when that happened, like, so deep in my heart. It was like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it was weird, but it was like to keep the fear and the anxiety out, because I've seen these like mass shootings or whatever will happen in the news, right? These tragic events, and like I can feel the anxiety around it, the situation when people are talking about it. Like, I can feel the fear and the anxiety, and that's not what was going on with the Charlie Kirk shooting. There was peace. It was like not remorse, but it was like peace and hope, but also like sorrow, like a deep sorrow, like sadness. And and so it that's what leads me to believe, because this was supposed to be a juncture, a push for the people to get really pissed at Israel, okay? And then for either Israel to deflect, which maybe that's what they're doing now, trying to get the Christians to infight with Muslims, but to eventually have Muslims and Christians join up, and then all of the world's armies, all the nations of the earth, gather against Jerusalem, as Zechariah 14 says. Jerusalem, not Israel. To gather against Jerusalem, right? And then the Lord will destroy them. And that's when, well, it's after they rape the women and pillage Jerusalem and kill half of the people and leave the other half. That's in the Bible, Zechariah 14. And then the Lord comes down, splits them out of olives, and then we get into Christ's millennial reign. Well, they are trying to what the Jews want to do, right? It's not even the right word. What and this is not all Jews. This is a smaller percentage of Jews because of grace. And I'll get into what I think is a Jew another time, because I'm about to end this live because I just hit an hour. What they are trying, they think that they're a master race, right? And so as a master, they do. Like, yes, just go do your own research if you do not believe me. Just literally go read excerpts from the Talmud. Just go read it. Just go read what they think. Just go listen to them talk. They will admit this. Rabbi Finkelstein. Go to Rumble and type in Rabbi Finkelstein full interview. Just go listen to that. Go listen to Tex Mars talk about it. Tex Mars he's a Christian. He's recently passed, 2019, I think. But go listen to Tex Mars. He puts it very, very well. Like I saw a few clips, I was like, oh, I forgot about Tex Mars. Yeah, he's a, Christian, like prophetic, lived in Austin. His church was in Austin, Texas. I wish I would have gone there when I was living there, but anyways, side note. But that's exactly who they think that they are, and so that everyone is subservient to them so they can do these things, manipulate from them, steal from them, charge usury interest against them, rape their children, everything, right? Kill them. And when I say them, I mean everybody that's not a Jew. Right? So that's where I'm like, well, how many of these people actually believe the Talmud, which they say are oral tradition, is the oral tradition of the Tanakh, or the Torah, which it's not. I'm sure some of it is. There is probably some decent stuff in there about the Torah. So just go do your own research. I don't even want to talk about what's in that book. It's disgusting. At least not yet. Not for this purpose of this live right now. So when these people that think they're this master race that aren't actually even Israelites, which they admit it, their scholars admit this, okay? They're trying to bring about the end of the world so that their Messiah can come back, which they don't think that Jesus is their Messiah, but it will be Jesus. Anyways, their Messiah is actually like the one that they talk about coming is what we know as the Antichrist, not Yeshua. And so if these group of people are going to get together and they're going to try to push the world into a position of slavery and race domination by them, and they're orchestrating it, right, with all of their might, and they're orchestrating this. These people are so bold. Like, the way that it started, like, the dude was an atheist, and he was like, Herschel, what was his name? Herschel something. He goes, I am going to find the land of God's chosen people, and we're going to create a nation called Israel, and that's going to be our land. It's like, what? Now, once again, I'm not saying that there aren't actual Jews. That's not, like, there aren't actually Israelites who believe the Torah and, like, follow the Torah, like the Tanakh. Like, I'm not saying that. I believe there are, and I believe that there are who are caught up in the Talmud and in Kabbalistic mysticism. And they're still kind of lost, and that's okay, but they still have, like, Torah in it. There's probably ones that are like that, and then there are some that are just culturally, and that's cool too. But I don't know, like, a spiritual thing is a spiritual thing, right? And so anyways, when I saw that video, that the like God frequency, like God, like him pushing their, like, cuz think about it. He's the one who knows their technology. He knows exactly what's causing it. He knows exactly how to stop it. And so when they tried, he was like, "Not today, Satan," and slammed it down. And so if that's one of the huge catapults, because I saw it right after it happened, and everyone started to get, like, informed on Israel, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I need to go deal with this. And the Lord helped me deal with it, because I wasn't able to admit it to myself for a long time. And then I did, but I went too far. I didn't understand it fully. Like, I didn't really know. I didn't fully understand it, because I will still say I didn't want to believe it. And then I got into a place where it was like, no, don't speak against it. Just be, like, just go with it for now. Just go with it for now. And so I did, and I fell in love with actual, like, Jewish culture. Like, I really, really, like, it's really, really cool. Like, traditional, like, Judaism is, like, really awesome. Like, especially, like, when with, like, the reverence for those things, like, by the Spirit of God, is so tender. It's so holy. It's so cool. Like, the feasts and, like, all of that stuff, man. You know, anyways, so when God fought back, like, rebuked the manipulation of the people, it showed me that the time is not yet. It is not yet, and he is not yet done. And we will see a mass harvest, a mass cultivating. I personally don't see it for I'm not even going to put a date on it, because it could be tomorrow. Man, I could be completely wrong. But I know that, he is knocking at the door. Jesus is knocking at the door, and he loves you very much. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father except through him. He loves you. He does not judge you. He doesn't. There are things he could, but he doesn't. Because he does as his Father does, and his Father doesn't judge. The Word will judge. The Word that he has spoken, that he heard from our Father, will judge at the end. And so he doesn't condemn you either. He wants to know you. He wants to you to know how much he cares for you by the sacrifice of himself, of his flesh that he gave in the worst imaginable way, voluntarily. He himself chose to lay down his life on the cross and die for each and every person, and take the tool of separation between us and God away, which was sin, wrongdoing, unrighteousness, not being in right standing with the creator of everything, God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Adonai, I am. And so he did that as God willingly, and then rose from the grave, with the power of God. By the power of God, I should say. And he did it because he loves you, and he wants to know you, and he knows your name. He knows how many hairs are on your head, and that you are wanted. He wants you. That's cool, dude. I don't know if you're a woman or a man, but that's cool. I have a question. Do you what kind, are you culturally Jewish? Are you, do you have traditions? Do you believe in the Torah? Do you believe in Yahweh? Or are you into, the Talmud? Are you into, the Tanakh, Kabbalah? That's cool, because, like I said, Jewish people are just like everybody else, they're just people. And all of us have been lied to about lots of stuff. We've all been led astray, And Jesus is the way, he is the Messiah. He came down and he died. He split the curtain in the temple so that he could know you. So that he could be one with you and live inside of you. You, your body, as his temple. It's really cool. And then the resurrection and living with him in a new body. That's awesome. I love Messianic Jews, man. Messianic Jews are so cool. That was one of the first. That was actually the first church I went to when I returned to Christ. Was the church that I was going to? They rented their basketball court out for service from it was like a Jewish school or something like that, but it was like Messianic Jews. And so we would have our service on Saturday, and they would have Shabbat on Saturday evening. And so we would always see them as we were leaving. It was really, really cool to see. And one of the people that I was one of the elders that kind of, I guess, took me under his wing. I don't really know how else to explain it. A good guy, Michael. They were actually Jewish and then Messianic Jews and then just converted into Christianity altogether. And so I talked to them a little bit, and we had Passover with them. It was a really, really cool experience. It was really, really cool. But yeah, I'd love to learn more about the culture, and I want to go to Israel, but I've seen what they do to Christians over in Israel, how they treat them. But it would still be kind of cool, to go walk where Jesus walked, and where Paul, do one of those things. That would be cool. But I am a friend of Jewish people. I am here to help break through the lies and mediate the people who are really upset when it comes to Israel, because I believe that they are still our Jewish brethren by covenant with God, and that they will turn to Jesus. There will be a mass exodus, a mass saving of the Jewish people. God will keep his covenant, because God does not lie. But thanks, everybody who tuned in. I think I'm going to get off. I think I had another thing to say about the president, but I can't remember what it was. That's the thing that gets me with the President Trump, is it's when I tune into him, when I hear him on big stages, he doesn't say like our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ or my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And so it's like, I know what doublespeak is, and I know when people, like, how people are trained to public speak, especially elites who run countries. So I understand that. And so whenever, and this is, once again, this is not a knock on Donald Trump. He is who he is when it comes to his faith and whatever. Uh, I like a lot of what he's doing. I support a lot of what he does. And I wouldn't ever, like, unless he went total uh, like tech, force the jab type, like military state, like intense. But I don't think he's doing that. So I don't think he wants to do that, has plans to do that. I think he wants to help the American people prosper and save money and just be a good businessman. Like, I don't think he wants to do a whole bunch of the egalitarian, like, eugenicist, life extension, like, crap. Like, I don't think he wants to destroy. I don't think he wants to destroy. I think he's a builder. I think he wants to build, like, put plainly. But that's why I say that, like, about the president being like, I don't know if he believes in Jesus. Like, I know he has lots of Christians around him. But I think that, I would like to see a clip of him saying that he's his Lord and Savior. And the reason why I say that is because it's biblical. Like, and so I also do realize that if he's dealing with Jews and is pinned in by the Jews, or is, as some people say, like, playing some game, like long game with them, why he would not say that. Like, I could understand that if he's trying to, like, save and bide his time, like, and not get murdered. Like, I get it. Like, I get that too, so I'm not upset one way or the other. I'm not going to change what I think about the president, whether he says that or not, when it comes to how he acts as a president. Does that make sense? So if he's with Jesus, and I believe that he is, by the way, I believe that he is with him. Like, I believe he like supports Christians and wants to protect Christianity and help Christians, and so I love that. That's all, I guess, is what I was getting at. If that makes any sense. Like, I'm not trying to, like, knock the president at all. I'm just talking about a public figure. The head of, my country. But, and I want to make that clear, just because, I understand loyalty as well. And so, when it comes to running, anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Jesus is awesome. I love you guys. That was a good talk. Thanks for coming on. Subscribe and follow. If you hated it, let me know you hated it. If you liked it, let me know you liked it. Give me a like. I don't know if they do thumbs down. You can do a thumbs down if you want. But leave a comment if, all that good stuff. So I love you. Jesus.